The meeting of the OIC group is called to order. The meeting has been requested by the mission of Pakistan for the simple reason that a high-level delegation came from the capital. And following what we have been discussed some time ago, the delegation wants to give us more briefing on the situation as is now in the southeast. And that briefing will be given by Senator Bhutto from the delegation coming from the capital. Without any further ado, I give the floor to the Senator with pleasure. You have the floor, Senator.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Assalamu alaikum. Your Excellency, I'd like to start by thanking yourself, the OIC, and all honorable members of the OIC for your support for Pakistan during this difficult time. The OIC has really emerged as the moral conscience of the world in this time of increasing conflict. The clarity and consistency with which this organization has continued to raise the voice for the people of Kashmir is also duly appreciated. Your Excellency, as yourself and the members of this esteemed forum will be well aware, there was a terrorist attack in Indian-occupied Kashmir, for which Pakistan and we all express our sincere condolences for the victims of terrorism. I believe that the countries that make up the OIC have suffered the worst at the hands of terrorism. As I look around this table, I see the honorable member from Palestine, see the honorable member from Iraq, ourselves in Pakistan, on a daily basis, have been a victim of this terrorism. We are united in condemning terrorism in all shapes and forms. And similarly, we should be united in condemning the increasing use of the word terrorism as a wolf whistle by hegemons or wannabe hegemons all over the world to justify illegal acts of repression, violation of sovereignty of Islamic countries. This took place in my country few weeks following the terrorist attack in Indian-occupied Kashmir. To this day, the Indian government has not provided any country who is a member of this organization, any country in the international community, nor have they been able to share with Pakistan or indeed with their own citizens that who were these terrorists that conducted this terrorist attack in one of the most militarized zones on the planet in Indian-occupied Kashmir. They have been unable to share with us if they've identified these individuals. They've been unable to share with us if they've taken any action against said individuals. You will all be well aware that the Prime Minister of Pakistan, at the peak of this crisis and following the terrorist attacks in Indian-occupied Kashmir, offered India publicly that Pakistan was ready to be part of any impartial international inquiry to get to the bottom of this. This offer was made in good faith and with good cause, because we were so confident that our hands are clean, that not a single Pakistani was involved in this terrorist attack, that we offered ourselves up for accountability before the international community. Unfortunately, India rejected this offer and decided instead to attack Pakistan, violate our sovereignty, kill and maim innocent men, women and children. They targeted civilian infrastructure. They targeted worship places. They targeted energy infrastructure and water infrastructure in their initial assault that they claimed was a targeted strike against terrorist, so-called terrorist infrastructure within Pakistan. Again, up until this day, the Indian government is unable to tell you the name of a single terrorist that they killed in this attack. For too long, the Muslim world has tolerated this sort of behavior, and I am immensely grateful to yourself, Your Excellency, and to this body for their strong and unequivocal stance on this issue at our time of need. We also appreciate the role of many countries within the OIC, particularly the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia and other countries within the international community, including and not limited to the United States, for the role everybody has played in encouraging and facilitating a ceasefire between India and Pakistan. But I would like to use this opportunity to emphasize that the world is a less safe place today following this conflict. We are a less safe place today in spite of this ceasefire, because the threshold for a full-on military conflict between two nuclear-armed states has increased and not come down as a result of this conflict and as a result of this ceasefire. The new precedent that the Modi government, the Indian government, the RSS government would like us all to abide by is you do not need proof, you do not need evidence, you just need an accusation to become judge, jury, and executioner when it comes to the lives of the people in the Muslim world. I appeal to the OIC to take a united stance against this decision that will result in not only an unstable South Asia, but also make the world a more dangerous place for the rest of us. I'm sure we can all agree that this is a grave injustice, not only to the people of Pakistan, but also to the people of India, that we are to leave our fates and the fate of our two great nations in the hands of non-state actors and terrorist organizations. That any group can get up and conduct a terrorist attack somewhere in India, somewhere in occupied Kashmir, or in Pakistan, and that would mean that they would force us, these nameless, faceless organizations, these cowards will force us to go to war. This is a dangerous precedent, and we seek your assistance in undoing this precedent, in helping us pursue our path to peace. Pakistan believes that dialogue and diplomacy are the only true paths for peace. Pakistan wants more cooperation as far as counterterrorism is concerned. We believe, as far as counterterrorism as a topic is concerned, more cooperation between India and Pakistan will result in us being able to deal with the terrorist menace within our borders and India being able to deal with the terrorist menace within their borders. We also would like to take this opportunity to draw the attention of this esteemed organization towards another grave precedent that India is trying to set. As a follow-up to these terrorist attacks within Indian occupied Kashmir, the Indian government announced that they were holding the Indus Water Treaty in abeyance. As you were all aware, the Indus Water Treaty is a gold standard as far as diplomacy is concerned. This treaty, to share our waters, has withstood many conflicts in the past. The very act of threatening to cut off Pakistan's water is a violation of the United Nations Charter. An implementation or acting upon this act would be perceived as an act of war from Pakistan's perspective. It is a grave injustice to the people of Pakistan and the people of India, who have been locked in perpetual conflict, generation after generation, over the issue of Kashmir, who've been locked in conflict over the issue of terrorism, that we are to damn future generations of Pakistanis and Indians to now fight over water. I appeal to this honorable and esteemed organization to take an unequivocal stance that India must abide by its international obligations under the Indus Water Treaty. The threat to cut off the water supply for 200 million Pakistanis must be condemned universally and across the board. We cannot allow for this precedent to be set. And finally, ladies and gentlemen, if we want peace in South Asia, permanent peace in South Asia, then we cannot ignore the issue of Kashmir. The legitimate rights of the people of Kashmir for self-determination cannot be denied. If the Indian government is going to continue to frustrate the aspirations of the Kashmiri people, if we're going to continue to allow this wound to fester, then it will continue to cause instability in our region and across the world. I would like to conclude by saying that my delegation's mandate is one of peace. We have come here in pursuit of peace. We seek your assistance, individually as member states and collectively as an organization, to help us in this endeavor, to establish peace in South Asia, to help us convince our neighbor that perpetual conflict is not in their interest, and that to pursue dialogue and diplomacy, to establish peace between our two countries, to work together to combat the menace of terrorism, to work together to combat the challenges posed by climate change, and to work together to address the ills that plague both our countries. I'd once again like to thank this organization and each and every member state for the role that they played throughout this conflict. Thank you, Your Excellency.
Thank you, Senator. It's very clear, concise, precise, up to the point presentation. I'll now open the floor for the member of the OIC group in order to listen to their own opinion. Let me first of all give the floor